The Crucible, Act 2, continued. We know it, sir. Mary Warren told us. We are entirely amazed. I am a stranger here, as you know, and in my ignorance I find it hard to draw a clear opinion of them that come accused before the court. And so this afternoon and now tonight I go from house to house. I come now from Rebecca Nurse's house, and Elizabeth's shocked. Rebecca's charged? God forbid such a one be charged. She is, however, mentioned somewhat. Elizabeth, with an attempt at a laugh. You will never believe, I hope, that Rebecca trafficked with the devil. Woman, it is possible. Proctor, taken aback. Surely you cannot think so. This is a strange time, mister. No man may longer doubt the powers of the dark are gathered in monstrous attack upon this village. There is too much evidence now to deny it. You will agree, sir? I have no knowledge in that line, but it's hard to think so pious a woman be secretly a devil's bitch after 70 years of such good prayer. Aye, but the devil is a wily one. You cannot deny it. However, she is far from accused, and I know she will not be. I thought, sir, to put some questions as to the Christian character of this house, if you'll permit me. Proctor, coldly resentful. Why, we have no fear of questions, sir. Good, then. Hale makes himself more comfortable. In the book of record that Mr. Parris keeps, I note that you are rarely in the church on Sabbath day. No, sir, you are mistaken. 26 times in 17 months, sir. I must call that rare. Will you tell me why you are so absent? Mr. Hale, I never knew I must account to that man for I come to church or stay at home. My wife was sick this winter. So I am told. But you, mister, why could you not come alone? I surely did come when I could, and when I could not, I prayed in this house. Mr. Proctor, your house is not a church. Your theology must tell you that. It does, sir, it does, and it tells me that a minister may pray to God without he have golden candlesticks upon the altar. What golden candlesticks? Since we built the church there, were pewter candlesticks upon the altar. Francis Nurse made them, you know, and a sweeter hand never touched the metal. But Parris came, and for 20 weeks he preached nothing but golden candlesticks until he had them. I labor the earth from dawn of day to blink of night, and I tell you true, when I look to heaven and see my money glaring at his elbows, it hurt my prayer, sir, it hurt my prayer. I think sometimes the man dreams cathedrals, not clapboard meeting houses. Hale thinks, then. And yet, mister, a Christian on Sabbath day must be in church. Tell me, you have 3 children? Aye, boys. How comes it that only 2 are baptized? Proctor starts to speak and then stops then, as though unable to restrain this. I like it not that Mr. Parris should lay his hand upon my baby. I see no light of God in that man. I'll not conceal it. I must say it, Mr. Proctor. That is not for you to decide. The man's ordained, therefore the light of God is in him. Proctor, flushed with resentment but trying to smile. What's your suspicion, Mr. Hale? No, I nailed the roof upon the church. I hung the door. Oh, did you? That's a good sign, then. It may be I have been too quick to bring the man to book, but you cannot think we ever desired the destruction of religion. I think that's in your mind, is it not? Hale, not altogether giving way. I have. There is a softness in your record, sir, a softness. Elizabeth, I think maybe we have been too hard with Mr. Parris. I think so, but sure we never loved the devil here. Hale nods, deliberating this, then with the voice of one administering a secret test. Do you know your commandments, Elizabeth? Elizabeth, without hesitation, even eagerly. I surely do. There'll be no mark of blame upon my life, Mr. Hale. I'm a covenanted Christian woman. And you, mister? Proctor, a trifle unsteadily. I am sure I do, sir. Hale glances at her open face, then at John, then, let you repeat them if you will. Proctor, the commandments? Aye. Proctor, looking off and beginning to sweat. Thou shalt not kill? Aye. Proctor, counting on his fingers. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's goods, nor make unto thee any graven image. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord in vain. Thou shalt not have no other gods before me. Without some hesitation, thou shalt remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. Pause. Then, thou shalt honor their father and mother. Thou shalt not bear false witness. He's stuck. He counts back on his fingers, knowing one is missing. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image. You've said that twice, sir. Aye. He is flailing for it. Adultery, John. Proctor, as though a secret arrow had pained his heart. Aye. Trying to grin it away, to Hale. You see, sir, between the two of us, we do know them all. Hale only looks at Proctor, deep in his attempt to define this man. Proctor grows more uneasy. I think it be a small fault. Theology, sir, is a fortress. No cracks in a fortress may be accounted small. He rises. He seems worried now. He paces a little in deep thought. There be no love for Satan in this house, mister. I pray it. I pray it dearly. Hale looks to both of them, an attempt at a smile on his face, but his misgivings are clear. Well, then, I'll bid you good night. Elizabeth, unable to restrain herself. Mr. Hale, I do think you are suspecting me somewhat, are you not? Goody Proctor, I do not judge you. My duty is to add what I may to the godly wisdom of the court. I pray you both good health and good fortune. Good night, sir. He starts out. I think you must tell him, John. What's that? Will you tell him? Slight pause. Hale looks questioningly at John. I have no witness and cannot prove it except my words be taken. But I know the children's sickness had naught to do with witchcraft. Naught to do? Mr. Parris discovered them sporting in the woods. They were startled and took sick. Who told you this? Abigail Williams. Abigail? Aye. Abigail Williams told you it had naught to do with witchcraft? She told me the day you came, sir. Why did you keep this? I never knew until tonight that the world has gone daft with this nonsense. Nonsense? Mister, I have myself examined Tituba, Sarah Good, and numerous others that have confessed to dealing with the devil. They have confessed it. And why not, if they must hang for denying it? There are them that will swear to anything before they'll hang. Have you never thought of that? I have. I have indeed. And you? Would you testify to this in court? I had not reckoned with going into court, but if I must, I will. Do you falter here? I falter nothing, but I may wonder if my story will be credited in such a court. I do wonder on it, when such a steady-minded minister as you will suspicion such a woman that never lied and cannot, and the world knows she cannot. I may falter somewhat, mister. I am no fool. Proctor, let you open with me now, for I have a rumor that troubles me. It's said you hold no belief that there may even be witches in the world. Is that true, sir? I know not what I have said. I may have said it. I have wondered if there be witches in the world, although I cannot believe they come among us now. Then you do not believe? I have no knowledge of it. The Bible speaks of witches, and I will not deny them. And you, woman? I cannot believe it. You cannot? Elizabeth, you bewilder him. I cannot think the devil may own a woman's soul, Mr. Hale, when she keeps an upright way, as I have. I'm a good woman. I know it, and if you believe I may do only good work in the world, and yet be secretly bound to Satan, then I must tell you, sir, I do not believe it. But, woman, you do believe there are witches, and if you think that I am one, then I say there are none. You surely do not fly against the gospel. The gospel. She believed in the gospel, every word. Question Abigail Williams about the gospel, not myself. She do not mean to doubt the gospel, sir. You cannot think it. This be a Christian house, sir, a Christian house. God keep you both. Let the third child be quickly baptized, and go you without fail each Sunday into Sabbath prayer, and keep a solemn, quiet way among you, I think. Giles Corey appears in the doorway. John. Giles, what's the matter? They take my wife. Francis Nurse enters. And his Rebecca. Rebecca's in the jail? Aye. Cheever come and take her in his wagon. We've only now come from the jail, and they'll not even let us in to see them. They've surely gone wild now, Mr. Hale. Reverend Hale, can you not speak to the deputy governor? I'm sure he mistakes these people. Pray, calm yourself, Mr. Nurse. My wife is the very brick and mortar of the church, Mr. Hale. And Martha Corey, there cannot be a woman closer yet to God than Martha. How is Rebecca charged, Mr. Nurse? For murder, she's charged. For the marvelous and supernatural murder of Goody Putnam's babies. What am I to do, Mr. Hale? Believe me, Mr. Nurse, if Rebecca Nurse be tainted, then nothing's left to stop the whole green world from burning. Let you rest upon the justice of the court. The court will send her home. I know it. You cannot mean she will be tried in court. Nurse. Though our hearts break, we cannot flinch. These are new times, sir. There is a misty plot afoot, so subtle we should be criminal to cling to old respects and ancient friendships. I have seen too many frightful proofs in court. The devil is alive in Salem, and we dare not quail to follow wherever the accusing finger points. How may such a woman murder children? Man, remember, until an hour before the devil fell, God thought him beautiful in heaven. I never said my wife were a witch, Mr. Hale. I only said she were reading books. Mr. Corey, exactly what complaint were made on your wife? That bloody mongrel Walcott charged her. See, he buy a pig of my wife 4 or 5 year ago, and the pig died soon after, so he come dancing in for his money back. So my Martha, she says to him, Walcott, if you haven't the wit to feed a pig properly, you'll not live to own many, she says. Now he goes to court and claims that from that day to this, he cannot keep a pig alive for more than 4 weeks, because my Martha bewitched them with her books. Enter Ezekiel Cheever. A shocked silence. Good evening to you, Proctor. Why, Mr. Cheever, good evening. Good evening, all. Good evening, Mr. Hale. I hope you come not on business of the court. I do, Proctor, I am clerk of the court now, you know. Enter Marshal Herrick, a man in his early 30s, who was somewhat shamefaced at the moment. It's a pity, Ezekiel, that an honest tailor might have gone to heaven must burn in hell. You'll burn for this. Do you know it? You know yourself I must do as I'm told. You surely know that, Giles. And I'd as lief you'd be not sending me to hell. I like not the sound of it, I tell you. I like not the sound of it. Now, believe me, Proctor, how heavy be the law, all its tonnage I do carry on my back tonight. I have a warrant for your wife. You said she were not charged. I know nothing of it. When was she charged? I am given 16 warrant tonight, sir, and she is one. Who charged her? Why, Abigail Williams charged her.